Coastal crisis getting presidential attention today. President Obama headed to the region impacted by the spill. As Kristen Dahlgren tells us, he's likely to see more oil and hear from more business owners barely holding on.
At Gulfport, Mississippi's half-shell oyster house, they may soon have to find a whole new menu.
At some point, we just won't have any more supply. And I'm an oyster house here, so what do?
They've already had to eat a rise in the cost of seafood. Tourist traffic is down, and they've had no luck getting anything out of a claim into BP.
I don't know. I mean, we're just living week to week right now.
And like a lot of businesses now, wondering which week will be their last.
We've got 46,000 people in our county that work in the tourism industry that will not have a job if we don't get life support for these businesses from BP and keep the doors open.
On the day before his trip back to the region, President Obama demanded BP establish a compensation fund for that claims process.
They're responsible for it. We want to make sure that they meet that responsibility, and that's going to be made very clear to them.
While the Coast Guard gave the company a weekend deadline to come up with a better plan to capture more of the crude.
We're running into the constraint of how many of these vessels can we put in there at the same time? And can we hook up more vessels to the containment system on the seabed?
Any plan is now too late for Alabama beaches, where thick oil has been rolling in, coating the sand, killing the summer season. And with more giant slicks now spotted just offshore, the waves of oil and anguish keep spreading.
BP now says it is deploying undersea sensors to try to get a better read on just how much oil is flowing. Meantime, after his two-day visit here, the president will return to Washington, where he'll address the nation on Tuesday night, followed by a meeting with BP executives on Wednesday. In Gulfport, Mississippi, Kristen Dahlgren, KXAN, Austin News Today.
All right, Kristen, thank you. As President Obama heads to the Gulf today, he faces plenty of criticism about whether the government's been on top of this oil spill from the beginning. But according to his advisors, the president has been front and center on the impact of the spill in the Gulf.
President, on day one, understood how massive this could be and mobilized the greatest response to an environmental disaster in the history of this country.
Critics say years of lax oversight from the government's Minerals Management Service allowed the oil industry to get too cozy with their regulators before the disaster. President Obama can address the issue himself when he speaks to the public tonight, or he speaks to him Tuesday.